Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the Rival and Queen podcast. I'm Ashley Kilbertowski.
Hi, I'm Sarah Murphy.
I'm only saying that because we recorded something yesterday, Sarah. We had to say our first and last name, so I just thought I would add that in today.
We recorded some video footage with our friend Ryan Williams, who will be on the podcast in the new year, we hope. But he is the creator behind Unbound Media. But it was so funny. Could not say. I hated starting it when I had to be like, hi, I'm Sarah Murphy. I felt like I was on Schitt's Creek when she's like, hi, I'm television's Moira Rose.
And then we were actually walking forward at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it was like, you know,
not natural skills. Like
I think it will come across well, but I don't think you feel kind of cheesy in that moment. Just, I know what you mean. And starting it's,
I don't know.
I feel like that every week.
No, that's not true. You do such a great job. I don't know that I do as good of a job having to start. Hi, my name is Sarah Murphy. It wasn't natural, but I had to start it because I didn't memorize any of the lines and Ashley did.
Oh my gosh. We will share all that. We didn't even ask Brian when it was coming out, but soon, I think.
I still don't know what it was for. It's for something in the city to spotlight hidden gems.
Yeah, they're doing it all over, I think, little pockets like downtown, Spryfield, Dartmouth, like different areas.
So
we had the pleasure to be part of it.
Thank you, Ryan. We are very grateful. And
we
struggle to introduce ourselves with our full names.
On camera. So shocking.
To the Rival and Queen podcast. You know, where sometimes we have last names and sometimes we don't.
This is true. This is true. Well, we're officially in December, Sarah. The countdown to Christmas is on. We are recording from home today, which is different for us.
Has been on for a long time for me. I wish you could see, guys, you know that I've now been decorating. I think it's my third week of decorating. The decorating is still not finished, but now I've got.
Do you need me to come just to help you? Like just wrap it up? No? Okay.
No,
perfect.
Because I appreciate that. Well, maybe because there's one thing I might need help hanging, but now I know what I'm doing. Actually, you guys might be able to see this.
Oh,
I've got
some
fa-la-la-la-las behind me. It's just more so I'm just trying to discover where I want all the garland to go and make sure there's enough Christmas cheer in every room.
I have to say, well, I know you do all of your calls from home. And if you're watching on YouTube, Sarah's got a beautiful banana leaves, I think they are, background.
California palm.
Oh, California palm. Oh, yeah. I think the banana leaves are a bit taller, but it looks like you have a fake background because it's so nice.
You know what? I wallpapered this wall myself. And that was like the peel and stick wallpaper. That is like a worthwhile endeavor. I got mine at Winners. It was $150 for all of this stuff, which I think is pretty good. I mean, we won't talk about the trouble I ran into because someone had very clearly used it and returned one of the rolls. And then I had to like steam out the wrinkles. But aside from that, it was actually really easy to hang. And I think it's like, I was so bored of having a white background on calls that I invested in. I decided I needed in my office a very noisy background. No one was sold on this idea until it was done.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming. Mom, I told Mom I was doing it and she was like, this is a terrible idea. She hated it. No. And then she saw it the other day. She's like, oh, wow, that actually looks nice. I was like, thank you.
I know. And it looks really great because your green couch is quite a few feet, probably 20 feet in front of it in the other room, but you can look back and see this kind of, similar shades of green, but it's bright and loud. And I think it's unexpected, which is nice when you come into the condo.
You know what? My house is decorated for me. It makes me happy.
And that's really the goal.
It's loud and busy, but I'll take a photo and post it on Instagram so people can see.
I want to first, before we move on, Sarah, I just want to say that we want to thank everyone for helping out with our food drive, which actually is going to go on for one more week today. So next Thursday, December 9th, the Cole Harbour Pee Wee hockey team is going to be collecting donations at Cole Harbour Place from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. They're going to have Santa hats and they're asked to dress festively. And they're going to bring out a bunch of hockey nets and wear their jerseys outside of Cole Harbor Place. And they're going to fill a bunch of nets. So if you live in Dartmouth or Cole Harbor or nearby and you want to go drop some food off, we would love that. Because I think they're going to help us like double our goal, Sarah.
So right now we are at, very weirdly, we are at 900 pounds. So we're short of our 1,000-pound goal by 100 pounds, but we are very close. And so they're going to help us cross the line. Like we know that they're going to get us across the finish line. So bless this little hockey team. And thank you to Jeff who helped arrange this, Ashley's husband. And so
all I'm picturing is the kids on the team, because in the email, Paul, who's the head coach, wrote just saying collect from family, friends, neighbors. But I picture some of these kids just like raiding their parents' cupboards or pantries and just be like, here's my 20 pounds.
100%. I know the parents are just like, they have no canned food. So if you are the parent of one of these childs, please go to the grocery store and buy yourself more food because your children have surely stolen it all.
We used to have a beautiful pantry cupboard that you opened up in my house. I grew up, and then I had like cupboards that like open within the cupboards. Do you know what I mean? Almost like a secret door.
Yeah. They like opened all the way up.
And then there was another one in the back. I don't know. It was kind of cool when you're younger, but it used to be stocked. Like we don't own as many canned food items now, but I think, you know, when you have kids, you have all these random things on hand to make stuff.
My God, totally. I have a lot of, actually, I'm going to make minestrone soup today. I'm really in the mood for it, but that takes a lot of canned goods. I love that you were talking about your pantry because it made me think of when I was a teenager at my mother's house in Newfoundland. One Christmas, our pantry was like sliding doors. So it was like tall and narrow. And normally you would open the doors, but instead they pulled out on rails. And one year, a box of crackers fell forward and we couldn't get, like, we had to hire a carpenter to come in and open one of our sliding doors. And I'm pretty sure this happened like Christmas Day. And like all of our things for like making gravy and finishing the
peas,
or like everything was in that cupboard. And we had to like get a saw to saw this like pantry door open so we could have Christmas dinner. It was very funny, actually. I'm sure it was my fault that the crackers fell. Like, I'm sure I threw something in there irresponsibly, slammed the door, went on, and then I almost ruined Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
No, but Ashley, you are very right. So thank you for everyone who took part in the food drive. We are so, so grateful. Feed Nova Scotia is so grateful. They're always, I think they think it's funny that we were able to get this much food.
I know. And a few people, girlfriends of ours or people that we know through the podcast live or just were busy. So they sent us money, and Sarah graciously went out and collected food on their behalf. So if you guys want to still contribute, just message us and we'll figure out a way for you to take part.
Also, this food drive was the most hilarious adventure. Last year, we filled Ashley's car with 800 pounds of food. She has an SUV. I do not have an SUV. I have a much smaller
The
car.
opposite.
Yeah, I have a mini, a hatchback, but I was still able to put 450 pounds in the car. It still filled like a massive crate, and the guys helping me unload it were laughing. They were like, I can't believe there's this much stuff in that car. And I was telling them, you'd be surprised what you can fit in here. So 450 pounds of food can fit inside a mini. Also, though,
not recommended.
Hilarious. Yeah, definitely not recommended. I had the most hilarious adventure trying to drop it off. I tried to drop it off Monday. On my way over to Feed Nova Scotia, I got a flat tire as I arrived in the parking lot, which was so funny. I was like 100 or 200 feet from the drop door, so I could not drop off the food with the flattest tire in the world. It was very funny. I've never had a flat tire like that. It was quite an adventure. I liked it. I thought it was a good experience.
Thank you, CAA.
Yeah, thank you, CAA and Master Auto, for fixing. But I've never had a flat before, so this was like
I haven't to that capacity when it literally has deflated. I've had it when the warning sensor goes off saying, and it's starting to, you can go to the gas station and give it, a little bit of extra juice. Yeah, and it will get you through, and then you find out, because they can find out that there's something in it or there's a hole punctured, and then you have to replace it. But yours was literally rim on pavement.
I know. I was scared. I was going to crack the rim or something. And I like called my mechanic and I was like, I'm in the driveway at Feed Nova Scotia. Do you think I can back my vehicle up? And he was like, absolutely not. Bring your car here with all the food.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that when it got towed, that was extra.
No, there's like an extra 400. Also, my car probably never has 450 pounds in it. Like my car,
and it probably wouldn't have deflated maybe as quickly without the extra weight.
Well, it's so funny because I was like driving up to the thing and I was like, oh, my car, like this is feeling a little weird. It must be all this extra weight in here. It might not like it. I was like, it'll be good to drop it off. It'll feel like, fresh as a daisy then, like brand new. And then of course I get there. I'm like, oh, the clicking sound was my tire deflating as I went. Gosh. So that was all good. But it was very funny. And we did try to pump it up, Ash, but it deflated literally in 2 minutes after he pumped it up fully. So
it was a serious puncture.
I kind of found it fun. It was a good experience.
Good life experience. Check that box.
Check that box. That's done. Tires flattened. Never have to have that again. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Well, we should get into this week's guest there.
Before though. Oh, we need to talk about the Tim Biebs.
Oh yeah.
And we talk about them in this episode with this guest.
With Jodi.
Why did I say guests?
Guests with Jodi Guthro, who is also a big fan.
She's a big fan of the Tim Biebs. So I can't wait to hear what she thinks about them. We're doing an Instagram live with her on Friday at noon, and she's going to tell us her thoughts on the Tim Biebs then, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, and I also loved her take on the name. She had a better suggestion for the name, and I think it's funny.
Yeah,
I think so too. Did you see? I sent it to you on Instagram. It was Michael Bublé. I can't say his last name.
Michael Bublé, the king of Christmas.
And
he's like the male version of Mariah Carey. What?
My Invisalign just make everything sound anyway. So he said that they should have been called. I can't even remember the name. Something balls.
Bublé balls,
which really does not roll off the tongue very well.
And also gross.
I know, but I thought it was really funny. He's really cheeky.
Oh, that's a good word for him. He's cheeky. I also just love the hype around Justin Bieber. Like Tim Hortons won on this.
The swag, like everything.
Okay. The swag is hideous.
How I know, but it's like people are going to go and collect it.
Because they love Justin Bieber so much. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it's like so funny, so hokey, but I'm just like into it. Like
here for it.
We're here for it. All right. Enough about Justin Biebs. We're going to talk more about it in the episode, but I do want to know what people's favorite Tim Biebs are. So you can tell us on Instagram. Ash, who do we have? What's going on?
We've got Jodi Guthro, who we've only recently connected with in person in the summer. We saw her perform here in Halifax with with her family, her father, Bruce Guthro, and brother Dylan Guthro. They did a Luvo like summer party, which was so fun. And she is so talented. Her songwriting capabilities, her voice is amazing. Like their family is just so talented. And she has an exciting song out right now, which is so fun.
Yeah, we were so happy to have Jodi on at this time because she co-wrote with her brother, Ann Walker Hayes, the song U Gurl, which at the time when we recorded this was number 24 on the Billboard 100 chart, which is pretty incredible.
Crazy.
So she is amped up. And I think it's just, in this episode, we really talk about how she keeps getting pulled back into music. It is definitely like in their blood, 100% in her favor.
Her calling.
It is her calling for sure. So we talk about getting pulled back into music. She is a singer-songwriter. We talk about her love of performing versus like songwriting. She's been songwriting since she was 8, which is crazy.
That's I know. What were we doing? I was probably writing songs, but they didn't make any sense and they were terrible.
When I was 8, I was probably not writing songs. I don't know what I was doing, but
my friend Stacy and I used to write, like we have songs that we would used to perform all the time.
I would like you to revive those, please.
I will offline. Okay. I know them. They're like ingrained in my brain forever.
Good. Please release a recording, a limited edition recording on Rival and Queen.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that. Ashley's song as an 8-year-old. We'll compare it to Jodi's.
Yeah. Not comparable. That's for sure.
I don't know. We also talk a lot about Jodi's muse and kind of how she's writing now that she's in a very wonderful, loving relationship where she gets her inspiration. And we get into a lot about Kacey Musgraves. We're huge country fans. So this is just like a fun episode, learning more kind of about Jodi's path in music. And we hope you guys enjoy. And if you would love to connect with her, which you should, you can connect with her on Instagram at Jodi.Guthro. Jodi spelled with an I, and all that's tagged in the show notes for you.
All right, let's do it, Sarah. All right, we are so lucky to have Jodi here, who we actually got to see perform 2 times this year.
Two times.
Two times. The Carlton show.
I was going to say, make her guess.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, guess the second one.
Luvo Bash.
The Luvo Bash, which we are drinking, of course, our favorite wine in a can.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Whoop, whoop.
And we're so happy you're finally able. We know you've been super busy and you have so many exciting things to share with us.
Yeah.
But we're so
Thanks
happy
for
to have
having
you
me.
here.
Thanks for having me. I'm pumped to be here. Finally.
Yeah.
It's been a
Finally.
long time coming.
You just got back from Nashville too. You were away for a little bit, weren't you?
I wasn't.
Oh, I
No,
thought you were. Deb.
I wasn't. I went to, I've only been to Nashville once actually, and it was in 2019.
That surprises me about you.
I know. Everyone's really surprised to hear that, but it was the best week ever. But no, Dylan's in Nashville, and he's going to be coming back soon. He actually just finished up a tour across the states with this artist called Banners. I don't know if you guys have heard. He's awesome. And so they just did their last show in Dallas like 2 nights ago. And so now he's back in Nashville. But I'm here. I've been here for forever. I can't wait to get on a plane and get the heck out of here for a bit.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have a beautiful voice yourself, like we've heard in person, which is amazing. But you also have been doing some incredible songwriting, and we'll give a huge shout out to U Gurl.
You
Yes.
girl, yes. Yeah.
As soon as I say that, I just want to start.
You want to
singing.
start singing?
Yeah.
I saw it on Hits 1 on a Sirius Satellite or Sirius XM, I guess it's called now, the other day, and I took a picture. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's been so surreal. Like, it's funny because I've been writing songs since I was like 8 years old. Like, it's been a long, long road. And then once the pandemic kind of set in, I had like this quarter life crisis, and I was like, okay, I need to go back to school. I need to figure my life out. So I went back to school. I went to NSCC and did the 1-year PR program, which was awesome. But it was kind of like music took a back seat for a bit. And then, yeah, Dylan got signed and started writing with all these people. And he had written with Walker a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one day. We were roommates, Dylan and I at the time. And it was during like the 3rd lockdown. And he came down. It was like a Sunday. We had nothing else to do. And he comes down in a cowboy hat and like cracks a beer. And he's like, let's write a song. Help me write this song. Like, he was always pushing me to keep going with it. And so I was like, okay. Like, what's up? And he showed me the hook. Like, he was like, what do you think of this? It's like, you girl. Wait, how did he say? Oh, no, it was guys like me like girls that look like you, girl. And I was like, that's cool. That's catchy. And he's like, let's write the verse. So we had a couple beer and wrote the verse and wrote a chorus. And then he was like, this sounds a lot like what my buddy Walker would do. And I was like, yeah, sure, like send it. And this had been before Walker really blew up, like Fancy like took off. So yeah, we sent it his way, and then Fancy like blew up, and we were like, there's no way he's gonna get back to us. This is, you know, it's good, nice knowing you type of thing. And anyway, a couple weeks later, he messaged Dylan back and was like, man, I really want to finish that U Gurl song with you and your sister. And I was like, oh my God. So we jumped on a Zoom call, and like random Tuesday, jumped on a Zoom call and finished the song in 25 minutes. And he was like, I'm obsessed with this. I want to put this out. And he goes, I want a shirt that says cherry bottom boom on it. Because that's like a line in the chorus. It's like cherry bottom boom, girl. So in my head, like PR student, I'm like, ding! I like go onto my laptop and start designing a shirt that says cherry bottom boom on it and send it to him. And now there's merch on his website that says cherry bottom boom. And it's really exciting.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So this whole thing was just super random and super, I felt like a deer in headlights, but it's been so exciting and like kind of lit a fire under my ass a little bit to get writing again and back on the horse. And yeah. It's
That's
been crazy.
exciting.
Oh
Not to mention the cool trucker hat. That's
The U Gurl trucker hat. I need one. I need one really bad.
I know. I feel like that is just, I don't know, good marketing with this song.
I should have got one and like wore it here today with you guys. That would have been cool.
We would have loved that. We would have taken 1,000 photos.
Stole it from you.
It's so cool though how it seems to come together in such a fun way. Like it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
and fast.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how it works. I still feel like it's not even real, and it's still like it's climbing on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
And like, is this gonna be another fancy like? What's gonna happen? So
what number is it at now?
It's the last time I checked, it was number 28, but this was like last week, so I feel like maybe it climbed a bit. I haven't checked.
When
I'll get
Fancy
into
Like,
it.
I bet when Fancy Like came out too, that took, you know.
Yeah, it did. Well, yeah, it
takes
took a
little
few
time.
months to get rolling, and I think it was like the TikTok dance that really made it blow up.
That's his thing. He
Yeah,
gets
it's
his
his
daughter
thing.
to do the
Yeah.
TikTok dances. I just die. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think he
this
did
is
one
so
on
cute.
an escalator or something.
Yeah,
I
he
saw on
did. He did the
Instagram.
U Gurl one, and it's so cute how he includes his family in everything that he does. Like I feel like I know the entire family, and I haven't met them. It's kind of creepy, but it's cute how they're all included in everything.
I love it. And I like always am trying to count. I'm like, how many children does this guy have?
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
I think it's 6.
I think it's 6.
Someone told me
yeah.
that.
And then immediately I'm like, what vehicle do you have?
Big
Like the whole
Suburban.
family
Massive
cannot even
minivan.
fit in
Yeah.
one car.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
So having this song and this opportunity, did that kind of just like turn that switch back on for you to get back into music?
It did. I struggled like the last year and a half, like writing for me. I love co-writing, but I've also like written a lot by myself. Like pretty much all my songs on Spotify, I wrote like 90% by myself. And then, so I would, and it was always kind of like a therapeutic thing for me. If I was like going through a breakup or I was feeling some type of way, I would like sit down and tinker on the piano and the words would kind of just fall out. But the last year and a half, I found it like a chore to be creative in a way. Like I don't know if it was the pandemic or what happened, but it was just difficult. And so then this happened, and like for the first time in like a year and a half, I sat at the piano the other night and started an idea that I'm super excited about. So yeah, it did. It lit that fire that I needed really bad. Sometimes you just need a little inspo, you know?
Oh my God. And I think
An
that's such a
excitement.
natural thing too, though, to have those ups and downs in our
Totally.
creative process. And then,
Totally.
but it is, if you get pulled away from it, it can
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
take longer than you like to get back to
Yeah,
it.
sometimes it feels like it's never gonna come back, and then it always does. So you just have to like embrace the downtime a little bit.
Keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Know that it's
That's
coming
crazy.
back.
It's so crazy
Yeah.
that you started writing when you were 8. Well, I know you come from a very musical family. So was that something you naturally were gravitated towards, or?
I also want to know what the songs were that you were writing at
still
8 years
singing?
old. But answer Ashley's question first, because hers is like good and very serious. And then I just want to talk about the 8-year-old Jodi
So
songs.
I would like, I don't know, I was always just into like writing poems and stuff like that. And then Dad would kind of be like, well, let's put a melody to them. Like what, like he was like
Inspired.
Yeah,
He's like,
he was always very like, you have a
We got
gift for the
something.
word. Yeah. So I do remember it was a Christmas song. I was 8 and I wrote a Christmas song, and it literally goes, Christmas is my favorite time of year. It's when grown-ups get together and they drink a lot of beer. Swear.
amazing.
That was the line from the song.
You could bring that back if you're not, you know, it could be like a funny
Is this a
song.
family tradition? Does the whole family sing that song at Christmas?
Well, it's going to start
They
now, I
should.
think.
I think you guys could release that. You could put a nice TikTok dance to that.
Yeah.
This could be right up there on the charts.
There you go.
Walker
There you
Hayes, watch
go.
out.
We've always wanted to like potentially do a Christmas album with like me, Dad, and Dylan, like a family trio type of thing. It would be really fun to do, but everyone's just so busy all the time, you know? And we're all so different. We're all doing our own thing all the time, but maybe someday.
I mean, one Sunday with a couple 6-packs.
Yeah,
the
there you
Christmas
go.
tree might look at you, and
You could make it
boom.
like a multi-year album and just do like one song a year for the next like 5 or 6 years.
True.
Get your
True.
mom involved, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you guys should manage us. Like, we don't know what we're doing.
Call it.
I think you do know what you're doing. Also, just for reference, U Gurl is currently at 24 on
24,
Ooh, it's
jumped 4
dropping,
spots.
yeah. She's
climbing.
Yeah.
Go and download it and listen to it.
Yes.
We love that. So do you enjoy, like, I'm super curious, do you enjoy the songwriting process more or the like creating the music? And because you have your own albums as well. and-
Yeah, yeah, I definitely consider myself a songwriter first and foremost. Like before a performer, a singer, or anything like that, like songwriting has just always come the most natural to me. And whether it's like writing for myself or writing for a friend or someone else, and yeah, it's my favorite part for sure. But it is fun too, putting the song together. I know Dylan produces a lot of my stuff, so getting to do the musical side of that and all the ideas that come together and watching it kind of form into the final product it's fun. And then performing it is fun too, but I think writing it is my favorite part for sure.
Yeah. And it must feel different, right? Performing songs you've written yourself or wrote, and then singing something that a cover, like that must just, I don't know, feel different.
Yeah, we don't do, like when I perform, like I feel like I don't do a lot of covers unless I'm doing something like the Louvo Bash.
Yeah,
you
did.
That day.
I feel like there was a Shania Twain cover.
We did.
Yeah.
We did do the Shania Twain cover. That's fun. Like I love performing covers. But yeah, I love performing my own songs. I love doing it in like a songwriter circle setting where people are actually listening and into it and everything like that. There's nothing worse than performing your song at a bar or something and everyone's just talking amongst themselves. But yeah, no, songwriter circles are awesome. We're doing a few in December, like the whole fam's coming back together.
I saw that.
And yeah, it's gonna be the first time back in the Schooner Room at the casino in like 2 years. So So I'm pumped. I'm pumped for that.
Oh, that's going to be fun to start performing again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I might shed a tear.
So what's the songwriting process like for you, Jodi? Like, is it emotional? What's sort of the vibe that you kind of go through?
Yeah, it is. It's yeah, like I said, it's always been really therapeutic. Like it's been a way to like kind of release. I feel like I need to do that, but I don't have a tank top.
It's very warm here. I just took off my sweater.
Sarah's stripping down.
I'm stripping down.
But yeah, no, it's a form of therapy for sure. It's like when I need to really, it's like when the bottle's full and it needs to just come out. And yeah, it just kind of, the words usually just flow out of me. And sometimes I feel like it's not even me. I know this sounds so weird, but sometimes you feel like a vessel because you're like, where are these ideas coming from? Like, where are these words coming from? They just kind of fall. On a good day, they fall out of you. And then some days you have to dig a little deeper inward. But yeah, it's a really personal thing for me when I'm writing for myself. But like if I get into a room with some friends and we're co-writing like a fun country song like U Gurl, definitely not as therapeutic, just and just fun. Yeah. And it's cool it's funny, in Nashville, they have a way of writing, like they normally write from the title. So if you walk into a room and there's 3 people about to write a song, someone will go, okay, like, do you have any titles? And someone will get their notes out on their phone and be like, drinking weather, or, you know, You Gurl, like that. And they'll be like, oh, I like that. And then they try to write this, like they build the song up to the title where it's like,
so funny.
Yeah. Where I'll like just write like line by line type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, you go. I was just going to say, I think it's, yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just curious about, you said that Dylan, I think I remember when you guys performed at the Carlton here in Halifax, that he was making that shift into country. Is that something you've kind of been shifting into more so? Or
yeah, I've always kind of walked the line a little bit. I mean, I've gone through, we both go like through phases because we love every type of music. I was joking on the phone the other day. I was like, because my friends make fun of me because my playlists will literally go from like Shania Twain to Lil Wayne, and like it's just
I feel
like,
that.
Yeah, it's just, there's no genre like of my favorite genre. So yeah, I think in my early 20s I was like, I liked the pop, like if you listen to my Spotify songs, they're a little more poppy. But I think now country, like Kacey Musgraves, the Highwomen, like I love those girls so much. And so yeah, I think that's kind of more my lane these days.
We're here for that.
I love Kacey Musgraves. She's like my country queen right now.
Me too.
I watched SNL. I go back and like randomly, I told you this, click on, depending on who's the guest, and she was the first performer this season, and she comes out in her plaid shirt, buttoned up with her jeans and her bare feet. I'm like, and she's beautiful. Yeah. But I love that she's
like
just
a
like
hippie. I love it.
Yeah, she's just so seems so down.
I just want to hang out with her. I just want to hang out with her so bad.
Like relatable or something.
I remember watching an interview with her though, as you said that. And she was talking about in a concert how she was singing, and then she just could see the light coming out of her third eye going out over the audience. And so just as you said, she's so relatable. I'm just like picturing her talking about her chakras and like her third eye looking out over the
I know
audience.
she's a big fan of like microdosing.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah.
I mean, she's not.
You know what? I relate to
You know,
that, so I'm okay.
She doesn't look like some of the other. She's not up there going crazy, putting on a crazy show. She's just like, I'm here, I'm standing here, I'm singing. I don't need any moves, any hype. I'm just talented.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
But she's also relatable. Listen, I related to the third eye
there you
chakra. I
go.
thought that was great.
I related to the high-waisted mom jeans. I was like, I'd wear those jeans.
Yeah.
I love this.
Shout out, we love you, Casey.
Guess she's listening.
Casey, if you're listening,
You know what?
we love you.
We'll tag her.
And if you want to come on the podcast, Casey, we'd love to have you on sometime.
Yeah.
Call Mark
If you
Boudreaux.
ever want to do a co-write, I'm in.
Jody's down.
That's possible. It could be in her third eye, and it's like coming at you right now.
Ooh.
We're manifesting it right now.
We're bringing it to life. And I'm not going to go on about it, but she's got a great Christmas special on Amazon Prime. If anyone wants,
I can't wait
wants
to
more,
watch it.
Casey. Oh, it's good. So one thing I'm super curious about, Jodi, is that when the pandemic set, you kind of went to reevaluate your life and go back to school. Like music has, I think, probably from your father, I'm guessing, been a huge influence in your life.
Yeah.
Why did you kind of take a step back at that time?
Yeah, it was more so just making a living in that industry is not the easiest thing to do in the world. And Dad has always said, but if you can do this, it's a hell of a time, but it's just not the easiest way to make a living. And, you know, I've grown up and seen it from every angle. You know, he was always away growing up. He, like, for months at a time. And it's difficult, especially as a woman, trying to do that. And, you know, I want to be a mom someday more than anything else in the world. So then you have to like weigh that in. And, you know, I'm 26 and, you know, you just start to think about things like that. And you're like, okay, maybe I do need something to fall back on if this doesn't work out. Or, you know, you have to just start thinking logically, I guess.
Or sometimes there's different ways. Like things can come together in ways you don't expect it, right?
And that's exactly what's happening in my life right now. It was kind of like I took a step back and then the craziest thing that could have happened to me happened as far as like songwriting goes. And so Dylan texted me and was laughing like, hee, like, you can't run away from the life that's meant for you, bud. Like, come on back. Because he's been music his whole life. Like and he went to school after high school for music. Like he went to NSCC for the music program. So he's just been like music his whole life. So he's never kind of like wandered off that path. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to know. You got to embrace the uncertainty, I guess, of life sometimes.
Totally. But it's also
Scary.
nice to see it pull you back to it at least. Even if it's not full time, maybe there's other ways that's going to keep intertwined. I mean, do you feel like it's going to be in your life forever?
Absolutely. I can't get away from it, even if I want to. I do. And the thing with songwriting too is to be a songwriter, you know, you can stay at home and it's a lot easier life than an actual artist that's going out on the road and performing and all that stuff. So there's different ways around it, and you just got to kind of follow what.
Ooh.
Well, and this has opened so many new doors for you too. Like that must just feel so good that you're like, okay, all this effort, all this work is now kind of like ramping up and going towards something bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some
So
cool
exciting.
opportunities shown up from this one?
Yeah. There's some things coming down the pipes that I can't really say, but it's been really exciting, and it's like totally changed my perspective on life. It's so funny though how that works. Like you think your mind is so set on one thing, and then something just happens out of the blue, and you're like, never mind.
Our minds don't know. I think our
Yeah,
minds
they
know
like to doubt
nothing.
us.
I think it's the least intelligent part of our body.
That's a good point. I think it is too.
There's a
I
lot of
agree.
other things. I think your brother's right. What's meant for you is going to find you. And
Yeah.
despite your best efforts, Jodi.
Yeah.
What's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Kacey Musgraves would really enjoy this conversation. She'd have the third eye going.
Yeah. I feel like all of our third eyes are just like
They're
Radiating
lighting up
towards-
right now.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Kacey Musgraves, what would be your absolute dream collaboration if you could work or write a song for someone, anyone?
Well, Kacey, absolutely. But the Highwomen, I don't know if you guys listen to them.
I
much.
haven't.
It's like Maren Morris.
Oh, I love Maren Morris.
Yeah, oh my gosh, listen to their album. It's so good. It's so good. They're just so like quirky and clever in the way they write. It's like I can't even explain it. They have a song called Redesigning Women. If you're gonna listen to one song, listen to that song.
All right.
Okay.
It's amazing. Write it down.
I will play it now, but we don't have
the rights
to do anything like that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yet, Mark.
Someday. But yeah, Highwomen, Maren Morris, apart from the Highwaywomen. Yeah.
I do love Maren Morris though. I have so many memories of sometimes I'll just like be at home alone and put on Maren Morris for hours and cook, and I'm like, my life is so happy.
Yes.
I'm going through all the emotions.
I
Right
did a Maren Morris cover, I think.
I probably did My Church.
Yeah.
I probably did a few actually. I love her so much. Yeah, she's awesome. And I'm trying to think. I just had someone in my head.
Any like OGs, any country OGs that you would want to?
You know who? I mean, she's not really country. She's kind of all over the place. But Miley Cyrus, I'm a huge
so
Miley
fun.
Cyrus fan. Like she
Okay.
is amazing. Yeah.
I feel like she can go in any direction.
She has
does
like the number one
country.
rock album in the world right now or something. Like
That's
she's
insane.
she's crazy. I love her. Yeah, she's a big inspo for sure. I feel like I love artists that you felt like you grew up with. You know, like I felt like I grew up with her, like watching Hannah Montana, and then I went to see her live in Toronto in like 2017 or something like that. Her Bangers tour. That was
so fun. That would be such a good album.
It was a
to go
riot.
see.
Well, she probably has a third eye, and it's probably feeling
Also
divine.
glowing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
We're putting it all out there tonight.
We really are.
All the women.
We love this. Jodi, what have been some of your favorite kind of opportunities? Because you've performed like around the world a little bit with your dad and stuff. Like, what have been some of the fun experiences that you've had?
I just got a Snapchat memory. You know how you get those Snapchat memories from 2 years ago, and it was us rehearsing to go on the Christmas tour. We went on it was Dad, Dylan, and I, and their band from Denmark and Germany. And we toured Denmark and Germany for like 3 weeks 2 years ago, and it was the funnest, most amazing experience of my life for sure. And to get to do that with Dad and Dylan was just like a whole other level. So that was fun. And after every show, I'd get to like go out. I actually had a printed CD. Like I got CDs done, like physical CDs done up because they still all listen to like actual physical CDs there, especially in Germany. So you go out and they'd come out and meet you, and I'd be like signing the CDs and giving it to all the fans. And it was just so fun. It was so fun. Yeah, that was definitely the number one.
That makes so much sense. I have a German-made vehicle, and every time
And it has the CD
it always
player in
has
it.
this
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Mine
this
does
makes
too,
sense.
but mine's older. But I also have a German-made vehicle, and
But
it has a CD player.
Yeah.
that there's something novel about having that though, like the physical CD.
Can I tell you
those
the
times.
last CD I bought? Do you know what it is?
Taylor Swift.
No.
Oh,
It's
Mine
a
was.
Is it?
Yeah.
Was it recently? No.
Mine was a Dave Sampson CD at his concert in Laura's backyard, because he's like, no one buys these. He's like, I have them. And he was like embarrassed about it. And I was like, Dave, I'll buy it. I think I bought 2.
Amazing.
Well,
I gave one to
love
Susan.
Dave.
She has it in her car.
I love Dave so much.
We
He
love
is
Dave.
killing it these days. His show at the did you guys go to the show
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Marquee?
We were there.
I was sick at the time and couldn't go, but I was so jealous. I saw all the Snapchat stories and everything like that. I was like, it looked amazing.
It was packed. It was almost overwhelming. We were like, I haven't been in a crowd with this many people in years.
Also, though, I will tell you a little thing that Dave did in that show, which was a very big crowd pleaser, was he did a Shania Twain cover.
Did he?
You're still
Is
the
he
one.
copying me?
He did You're Still the One.
Oh, okay, that's amazing.
But it was so good.
I think it
loved
was he sang it to Marcy because it was her birthday or around
No,
her
it was not her birthday.
Well, her birthday's around Halloween. I thought that he was like, he dedicated it to her.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, I thought we talked about that.
No, I said that to Dave. I was like, Dave, are you singing that to Marcy? But I don't know
See,
if he dedicated
I
it.
heard that, and then I was like, all right.
That's hilarious.
But I saw
No,
her.
I
She
made
was
a big
behind it. So
story.
she was
She
so
was just
into it.
vibing, yeah.
I was wondering if that's what you think. I made up a big story about this to Dave. I was like, Dave, you went up and sang Shania Twain, and we all knew, every girl in the audience knew it was for Marcy.
Okay, let's be real. It probably was dedicated to Marcy.
It
Yeah.
was. He
I
did
thought you were
say.
going to say me. I thought you were going to be like, it was dedicated to me.
No, I mean, no, that'd be weird.
That would be weird.
That's
We're
so-
distant
Honestly, when you
cousins.
said he did a Shania Twain cover, I didn't think it was going to be that. That's amazing. I love that.
We went to Nashville 3-4 years ago now.
Mhm. I don't remember.
And the girls we went to was all our first time. And I think that, you go down to the bar or up to the, whoever's passing around the bucket, you give them money,
Yep.
request a song. And a few times I remember requesting Shania Twain or songs, and it would be like this group of men or a man up there singing. He was just like, for fuck's sakes.
yeah,
Like,
that's
are you
all
gonna
I
make
get.
But like they would. I can remember
In
one night.
hindsight, I think it's asking them to play "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Yeah.
It's not the song that men want to
A
sing.
bunch of drunk girls that just like you 10th time today.
I think there's a lot of other Shania Twain. Shania Twain. Why did I struggle with that? Shania Twain songs that men can sing, but "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" is just like it's like a weird
Yeah.
one.
doesn't
Yeah.
vibe with them.
Yeah.
But they do it. Anyways, so
They have to. They
Yeah,
have to.
that's-
Crowd pleaser.
that's sort of
Yeah.
the fun thing.
That's so funny. I should have brought this video in if I had known we were going to be talking about Shania Twain. It's like, I went to Scotland when I was like 5 years old because my dad was a part of this like Scottish rock band called Run Rig forever. And so we went for New Year's when I was probably 5, and I like got up on this. We were staying at one of his bandmates' house, and there was like this big after party, and I was a shy kid, so it confuses me that this happened, but there is footage of it. It's like me standing on a kitchen table just by myself in front of like this whole party full of like Scottish people singing From This Moment On Shania Twain, and I'm like, boom boom, you and I will never, and I'm like so into it. There's a video I have to show you guys.
That is
someday. It's
amazing.
so funny.
That's my favorite Shania song.
Is it?
Yes.
It's one
Is
of mine
it?
too. It's a
Yes,
classic.
it's so every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, it just takes me to a beautiful place.
It's peaceful.
Ooh, it is
She's
peaceful.
such a queen. What else can you tell us that's coming up without spoiling any kind of secret?
Or some of your aspirations,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Life
yeah. I
aspirations.
think I'm gonna do a trip to Nashville in the new year and make some connections there that are kind of blossoming a little bit right now. And I want to put out more music. I haven't put out music in a long time, so I want to release some stuff. And
Is that stuff already written, or is like you're going into creative
there's
mode
some
now?
stuff that's already written. There's some unreleased songs, that have been written for a long time. But then I also want to write new stuff because I feel like I'm getting back on the horse and I have new things to say. And, all
What's
that.
kind of your
Things are
inspiration right
flowing.
now that is like what's inspiring you
My
for this new?
muse.
Yeah, tell us your muse. We've never had a
Okay,
muse conversation.
It's funny because so I'm in like the healthiest relationship I've ever been in right now in my life, and it's so hard to write because I'm happy and I write like heartbreak songs and stuff like that. So that's been my muse. I've been trying to write a happy song, so that's my challenge for the next couple months is because it really is. It's so easy to. I don't know what the word is. Like when you're sad and you just want to rant and write.
Get
and
your
sing.
emotions out.
Get your emotions out. It's so much easier. But when you're happy, it's like it's harder to put it into words. I can't explain it. But
No,
there will be a happy song.
It will just
coming
come from
down
a
the
new
pipes.
perspective, a new
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
you'll find that muse in the.
yeah.
We should try and write a song.
You should.
A Rival and Queen theme song.
Da-na-na. What's gonna be the first line? Oh yeah, Dave already gave it to us. What was it?
Well,
It
I
was
think we
like-
should start from the title perspective. Too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you could
said
do that.
he said castles and
Tiaras.
crooks.
probably.
No, he said castles and crooks,
Castles and Crooks.
something and thieves.
That sounds way too hard for us.
I was gonna say that's like intense.
I don't know. I wrote it down at our
Don't.
live show.
Yeah.
Dave gave us the first line. I think we're gonna cheat, but I mean, maybe we could get the juices flowing. Jodi, we'll bring Jodi in.
Yeah, I can come in.
we
I
need
can
a
help.
guitar at least.
Yeah.
We have a keyboard.
We have a keyboard at my house.
Rue, I can't stop looking at this
Aw,
dog.
the poodle.
Has anyone been introduced to Rue yet?
Oh, not for a while because I mean, if you're new here, you probably haven't met her, but
There is a studio puppy in here with us, a poodle that I'm babysitting. Rue, she was the first poodle on the Rival and Queen podcast. She's so timid.
Just try not to get all of Sarah's boobs while I do.
Well, do you know what? I took my sweater off because it's like I'm wearing a fur blanket right now.
Yeah.
She's sitting on my lap and she's just like very timid. And she in fact does not want any of this attention right now. It's very funny. When you talk about that kind of challenge of having a muse when you're in like such a healthy, wonderful relationship, you may not like this, but I love Taylor Swift, and that's what I think of because her last couple albums,
Adele, Taylor, yeah,
yeah, like it's the opposite, right? Like
Yeah.
she's in a relationship, and I think she's talked about this quite a bit. I don't know from the perspective of it being a challenge for her, but more so that people are like, what are you going to write about now that you don't have the heartbreak?
100%. That's how I feel.
But she's found some funny stories about other people that are
I'm sure there's
entertaining.
other things that
Yeah.
I don't know.
She also had the Kanye drama for a while. That was
that make you
entertaining.
mad that you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
have to write a song
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, true. She wrote some like feisty songs. That's for sure. The Snakes.
Oh yeah.
All those videos. Yeah.
But her recent stuff isn't as much like that, but it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting to think
Have
about
you
where
listened
people
to the
find
All
her.
Too Well, the 10-minute version?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it
I
yet.
haven't.
but
Okay, I only listened to 7 minutes, but I listened to it on my way back from the airport.
That seems long.
It's a long
It is,
song.
but I heard her talk about this actually before I watched her on Vogue, the 73 questions, because on our Rival and Queen YouTube, for some reason, every time we log on, it's probably like because we're both watching them, it's always a Vogue 73 questions with a new celebrity, and I get sucked
I
into
never
them.
watch them.
I always watch
I
them.
do on Instagram. Sorry, I don't
Yeah.
watch them on YouTube. But
Okay,
the
well-
world's trying to tell us something.
Yeah, the world knows. So I was watching the Taylor Swift one, and she talked about one of the questions they asked her was like, what song was the hardest to write? I forget what it was. And she said the one song I couldn't stop writing was All Too Well. And she was like, I think the first version was 10 minutes long or something.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
of course, I saw that last week. And then like 3 days later, the album dropped and
in the
it's the
10-minute
versions
version.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it actually was good. And like you could pick out the parts that were new. And it was kind of like, it's just way more in terms of like verses and stuff in there.
Isn't it all about Jake Gyllenhaal? Is that true?
I don't know who her boyfriends were at the time.
Who can keep track?
I just like that's what I've been seeing all over TikTok. It's just that like everyone's coming for Jake Gyllenhaal.
So, okay, so
God.
this is so funny because I know nothing about pop culture and Ashley can attest to this. And it's like so strange when I know these things. But as a point of reference, she was on Seth Meyers' show the other day. And it's probably last night. It popped up on Twitter for me today. And one of the questions he asked her was like, did you think about how the men felt when you re-released this? Maybe it's worse for them. And she was like, oh, I didn't even cross my mind about how they might
care.
feel.
Don't even care.
And then,
Don't even care.
which is amazing. And now you're saying it's Jake Gyllenhaal. So they're coming after him.
Yeah.
He was blindsided by the re-release of Red. I think that's great.
Yeah.
10 years later, you thought that
Ship
drama
sailed?
was gone? Hell no. She back.
The match is lit. I don't know why. She's gonna throw it on the fire. I couldn't.
There you
think of
go.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, before we move into our game,
Ooh.
what we want to know what's lighting you up right now, Jodi. What are you excited about?
I'm excited for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm excited
That's
for
a good one.
Christmas, to be honest.
Yes.
I feel like everyone
We
is
need
extra excited for Christmas this year. Like,
Yes,
Last year was kind of like stressful.
yeah, well,
I want to put up my decorations today, but I can't because I'm too tired. But like
same.
tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for Christmas, especially because last Christmas, like those rules were like, I have a huge family on my mom's side. There's like, I think there's like 15 cousins now. They just keep coming. But we're all like, Dylan's the oldest. And then it just goes like boop, 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 like a year apart. So we've all been so close and like, fingers crossed that we get to all be together this year, because last year it was like 10 at a time or something. So we had to like swap homes and be in different groups. So yeah, we all get together and it's like a big party.
Oh.
We're all singing. They can all sing. They can all play. It's like a big jam session.
So it's a
every
full family affair.
year. 100%.
I love
Yeah.
it. Does your mom sing as well?
She can sing. She never sings in front of anyone, but she can. She can hold a tune.
Oh.
She really can. And she can play piano, but she just never ever does. She likes to kind of sit and watch and videotape.
Well, I mean, she's got so
bless
much
her.
talent surrounding her. It would be daunting.
Yeah. All of her sisters will get the guitar out and sing, but for some reason she's just shy about it.
Ah,
She's shy. Yeah.
that's kind of cute.
Kimmy G.
All right. Now it is time. Wait, did you? Oh, yeah, you did. Listen, I'm on another planet tonight. I'm with Kacey. The
She's
third
thinking,
eye's going.
You're thinking about Christmas. You're
I'm
gone.
thinking. Yeah, I know. I'm like
she
literally
was excited. I see you all night was when I brought up Christmas.
And that's saying a lot because Sarah's very excitable most of the time. Sarah, your head's hanging tinsel and drinking a rum and eggnog.
I'm so focused on Christmas decorations right now because I haven't had my own tree for like many years, I think.
Get
now.
it up early, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a full-size tree of my own for probably 7 years. And so I don't even know what I have for decorations. It's just like
I bought my first 4 ornaments the other night. I was so excited. I was like, okay, this is sad, but like, how do you
have to
build your
start somewhere.
ornaments? Yeah,
You
have to
need at
start
least, I'll
somewhere.
tell you, you need at least like a box or 2.
which I haven't done yet.
You need to go to like Michael's or
Yep.
wherever.
Canadian Tire,
Tire.
$20.
That's where
And
I
buy
went.
like a set that you like, the color palette.
Yeah.
Not all the same. Like make sure they're ones that
Yeah.
have, and then like build off that. And then
Yeah.
you like add the unique ones.
Yeah, like the nostalgic ones that you're
Yeah.
excited to like open up and look at every year. Those are my favorite.
I love them. They bring back so many memories.
Well, so I don't actually have that many like
But
that.
your parents probably do.
Oh, hell no.
No? Oh, my mom probably still has like the popcorn we
Oh yeah, my mom
put
has
together.
a million. Yeah, they're all falling apart, but they're still
like
there.
ones I painted. It's
Yeah.
actually really sweet. She's very sentimental.
Do you know what? I think my dad has them. And a few years ago, I was like, hey, do you want this box of decorations? It's like the one my sister and I made when we were children. And I was like in university. I probably said no. But I wonder if he still has them. See, like,
Maybe
I
he has a
don't
couple.
like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree thing isn't as much my vibe,
Mm-hmm.
right? But maybe I'll steal some.
My mom still puts, I was very into ballet, as was Sarah when I was younger, and she used to collect like these beautiful ballet dancer ornaments. And last year they were all on the tree.
My mom does that
I know,
too.
and it looks great, but the theme of her tree is more like beachy because it's at our cottage, and then but I'm like,
Oh.
it works. Sometimes you
Okay.
just make it's a collection.
Yeah.
You put it
Just
whatever you want.
chaotic, a chaotic, beautiful mess of a tree. I love that. That's my favorite kind of Christmas tree.
That is not my Christmas tree. But like I love that on people's. But
Yeah.
I've been thinking
You
all
like
week. I'm like,
the elegant
Well,
matching.
it's
tree.
so she was joking that like now we started talking about Christmas, my mind's somewhere else. But she's not wrong. Like she's
She's
very
stressed.
right.
She's sweating.
I
I'm just kidding. She's like, I must get home now.
But like what I'm thinking about it is like at the back of my storage locker, there's a box with all my ornaments. And I'm like, I need to bring them out so I can see what I have so I can buy the right color palette of all the other ornaments. And that is what's running through my mind.
No matter
Listen.
what, when you get the lights up and the decorations and the lights are low, it looks beautiful.
Like blessed that my
Unless you're-
biggest problem is how do I get a coordinated Christmas tree?
right.
Life is
Right.
good. We're
Life is
good.
Life is good. We're thankful. We're grateful.
We're so grateful.
We're going to have to add some Christmas or holiday specific questions to this game. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing because we've been trying to have Jodi on the podcast for so long. We're so happy she's here. And we've just spent at least probably like an eighth of the show talking about Christmas.
tree. I think it was my fault.
She
I brought it up.
Yeah.
I brought it up.
Okay.
Christmas songs, all these things just
Yeah.
are getting us fired up.
One question I do have before we go into Queenie Grams, is there any, okay, so we can see you soon at the Sheridan, at the casino. Is that
At
right?
the casino.
The Marriott,
in
sorry.
the casino in the schooner room.
Okay.
Yeah, it's December 7th. Nope, December 9th.
Okay.
December 9th is the show. It's a Thursday, I
Thursday.
believe. Yeah.
Where can people get tickets?
I believe on my dad's website, but I could be wrong.
Okay. We'll link it. We'll find out where it will be in the show notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Google Songwriters Circle
Yeah.
Marriott, and hopefully
Definitely don't
Casino.
Google the Sheridan.
Casino.
Listen,
the schooner room.
I'm starting on fire thinking Jodi was in Nashville and ending really sharply as well.
That's okay.
I wish
Sometimes
I was in Nashville.
You need to know your strengths. I wish I was in Nashville too.
I wish we all. Maybe we can take this
Let's plan a
on
trip.
the road.
Yeah.
on the road. It'll be
Let's do
the
it.
first Rival and Queen international show.
We'll take over the honky tonk and record
Yes.
live.
Ooh, no, the Redneck Riviera.
That's a great place to perform.
Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, we love that place. We
There's
actually
only
all have
two.
shirts.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think there's one in
Amazing.
Nashville and one in Vegas, and that's it. But it's more of like a tiny dive bar vibe, but
Yep.
it's so cozy. We
Yeah.
spent a whole day there in the rain drinking and listening to like the best music
Amazing.
ever.
Oh,
We had a great time. The performer asked me to marry him. It was great.
that's great.
He was joking.
Was he though?
He was.
he though?
He cut his sleeves off mid-performance.
This sounds like an amazing day.
His name's
I wish I could have
Noah.
been a fly on the wall.
His name is Noah, and
Is
then
it Noah?
also he
Yeah.
had a shaved head but had bangs. A look.
Amazing.
Anyways, I said no, but politely. All right, Jodi, we are gonna play. I just love where this episode has gone. A round of Queenie Grams. It is our made-up game. It is very simple.
Okay.
All you do is pick a number between 1 and 144, and I will ask you a question, and we'll all answer it. We're all going to take a turn.
Okay.
So you're up first. What number would you like?
11.
11.
Ooh,
Here
one.
we go.
Snake eyes.
This is such a fun. I love this. Tell us about your worst sunburn. Do you have
My worst sunburn. You know what? Everyone has that that memory coming into their head. Like I have a specific sunburn. I think I was like 16 and we were at the beach for my friend's birthday and it was like kind of like a cold, windy day and I had no idea that I was getting sunburnt. Came home that night and I was like, I'll never forget that feeling,
lobster.
like head to toe lobster. That's my worst sunburn I've ever had, for sure. And
Yeah.
I've been down south a million times, but it was here. It was in Nova Scotia. It was bad.
Do you know what? I just had a flash. I just had a memory. Like it just
Tell
hit
us,
me.
tell
When you
us.
said down south, I remember I was away in Dominican. I'm talking, I might have been like 15, 16, a long time ago, with people from Cape Breton. And you guys were there, your family.
What?
Because the family I was with was from Sydney. And they're like, oh, that's, and I like didn't know. I'm
No
like, you know,
way.
but like the parents knew. And they're like, that's Bruce Guthro and his family. And I'm pretty sure your dad had his guitar. Just hit me.
Always, yeah.
Just hit me now.
That's so
really
funny.
irrelevant. But like I didn't know.
That's so funny.
Coming
Yeah,
or
you
going
wouldn't
when I was
know.
15. I was like,
Yeah.
where's the pina colada?
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the pina coladas and the hockey players?
That is so funny.
Ooh.
Wow.
Very
It's so funny. You
accurate.
go
That's what I'd be
down
thinking.
south, you go down to those resorts, and like pretty much everyone down there is Canadian or Nova
Yeah.
Scotian. You know, it's so funny.
I love that.
My worst sunburn was in Mexico when I was away with Nicole, T, and Bob. I remember being in the pool all day. There was a foam party. We had so many mojitos that day.
Yeah.
Felt nothing. Didn't feel the sun at all.
Oh God.
Until later. And I was the color of that Rosé Luvo can. Like, and it hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't have an appetite. Like I felt ill.
Mine don't come out until like 11 p.m. Like some people can like see themselves getting burnt, but like mine is like doesn't exist, and then 11 p.m. hits, and it's like, hello.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh. What about you, Sarah?
Mine was on Canada Day. I have two, but the one that always comes first is I was on Canada Day in the harbor on Katie's dad's boat, you know, bopping around. Don't think I had sunscreen on. And I could not wear a shirt for 2 days. Like I did,
Yeah,
but it
the bra
hurt.
straps hurt.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, not the bra straps. Fabric.
Oh, anything. Yeah.
Anything.
The
like,
shower?
I wish it was the bra straps. It was like a cotton shirt touching my skin
Yeah.
hurt. I was in like pain, I think. And actually, I did this last summer. I like was at the yacht club with my dad for breakfast, and we were like, oh, let's go out for a sail. And I didn't have sunscreen, and I was like, ooh, I don't have enough time to go get sunscreen and come back.
No,
so
you
do
always
I do
have
it?
enough time.
Yeah.
No, I went without it, and I regretted it. But I was like, I can either go sail. Like we only had like 2 hours, so it was like we can either go sailing without sunscreen, or we don't go sailing.
Yeah.
And I went for it, and you know what? It never goes well. Being on the water without sunscreen, I highly advise against it. All right, Ash, pick a
Should
number
we do
for
another
us.
one? 38.
38. Okay. I already know my number. I'm really excited about it. Ooh. Sorry for the
I thought
sound.
that was a Luvo, and I was like, oh no.
38. Oh, this is a great question. These
Okay.
are all new questions. How long ago was it since you had your last Pop-Tart? What is
Oh my
Is this
god.
for you or is this for
It's
me?
for
or-
me.
of
Well, I'm
us.
going to answer. Well,
We're all gonna answer it. Okay.
I have no answer for that because I have no idea.
How did this question end up here? I love this.
No idea.
I think
I love these questions.
I think
University, maybe?
university?
Maybe. I don't know.
Like I think that's soon. Like mine was like I was 8 in Moncton. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I
see,
don't
I
like
don't know.
Mine was like
Pop-Tarts.
sometime last year for sure. For sure. I love Pop-Tarts.
Do you?
Yeah.
What
so
kind
But
do you
I'm
like?
not like, but I'm not
Strawberry?
like a get them all the time. It's like a maybe once a year. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna get a little.
I'm with
Pop-Tart.
you. Growing up, I was terrible at eating breakfast. but I could eat a Pop-Tart.
Gross.
I
I
liked
was
it.
into
The
toaster
strawberry.
strudels too.
Oh,
yeah.
toaster strudels. That Those are like a treat when I
They
could
are.
convince my
What about
parents
a
to buy us
strawberry
those.
one with the white icing and the sprinkles?
Yeah.
That's
So-
my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think
I don't like the super chocolatey ones.
No.
I had a
No.
chocolatey one once and it tasted
No.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's
taste
too
like
fake.
It's a
chocolate.
little
It
too
tasted
much.
like
It's too much.
It
I
was
like
gross.
this strawberry.
strawberry Pop-Tart. And I only
Or the apple.
I
There's an
don't
apple
Did
one.
you used to heat them? Would you like toast
In the
them?
toaster.
Yeah, toasted.
You would toast a Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
How does the icing not melt?
It doesn't. It's
I don't.
chemicals.
It's probably not even real icing.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I've never had one warm. Maybe that would be.
Oh, it's better. And it doesn't get like it just warms it up and it just makes it.
Anyways,
better.
I could go the rest of my life without eating a
At
Pop-Tart.
my in-laws' cottage, well, I have 6 nieces and nephews. There's always boxes of Pop-Tarts and the kids love them. I never even think, I'm like, I'd rather eat something like a chocolate covered almond or something
Yeah.
more decadent.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know
It's a
people
kid
still ate
thing.
these.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
That is
sure.
like the thing that I would eat once a year. That is like, that makes me think of, well, not Pop-Tarts. They're not my thing. I was never allowed to have something like that growing
Yeah,
up.
me either. It was very
Yeah.
a treat.
Yes.
A
same.
treat.
But I think my parents were like, you need to eat something.
But I would
Eat
rather
this.
eat a toaster strudel than a Pop-Tart. Like the toaster strudels, like I might go buy some after this.
I've been gluten free now for like it's only like a little over a month. Like I was like having stomach issues, and then one day Mackenzie was like, I bet it's gluten, and I was like, no.
don't
And I
say
stopped, and it, like all my issues went away, and so I can't even have a Pop-Tart if I wanted to have a Pop-Tart.
I bet they've made gluten-free
they
ones.
probably
I bet
do.
they have.
They
they've
definitely
been-
have them.
there's a lot of options out there.
So just want to give a shout out to Bliss Cafe on South Park Street in Halifax. They make very bougie, very fancy Pop-Tarts. Their pastry chef makes them. So I don't know if people have a hankering for a Pop-Tart right now. You could try that.
I feel like after
I would like
listening
to
to
try
this,
that.
now I want one.
All right, I'm gonna go last, and I'm picking number 144 because I added this question the other day. I'm really happy about it. What is your favorite Timbit flavor?
Oh my God, have you guys heard about the Timbit?
Timbits.
This is how the question got added as we were
okay.
talking about the
Yeah.
Timbits.
And we need to buy those flavors.
Well,
Yeah.
what are his flavors? I'm just like,
It's
They're
like-
so out there.
It's
like
chocolate sour
cappuccino,
cream.
something.
It's like chocolate chip sour cream, white fudge, and waffle birthday cake. I love how I'm a big Justin Bieber fan. I'm obsessed with him.
but the
this.
commercial's so funny. He just like pulls out these random flavors.
Yeah.
are they in
Yeah.
store yet? Like, should I go get some?
I think they are, and I'm gonna have to try a bite of each one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
just
to.
like, I don't know what you're gonna have to do, but just
Just a
try
little.
the gluten that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
My favorite. Okay, so sour cream glaze used to be my favorite, and then they just like were too sweet. So I either get, this sounds really lame, the old fashioned plain,
Ooh, I like those.
or I know it's so boring.
Yeah.
Or the chocolate with the coconut on the outside.
Okay.
I just
Mine's
like that.
always been chocolate. I've
Glaze?
always
Like chocolate glaze?
glazed.
Ooh.
Yeah, like and I thought everyone's was.
Yeah.
And then it was so funny. Me and my friends had this chat one day. Like someone brought a 20 box of Timbits. Like we were having a pool party or something.
They're so good.
And everybody liked. Like everyone's favorite flavor was something different. And I was like, this works out so perfectly. No one has to fight for the chocolate. I thought everyone wanted the chocolate. And I was like,
Yes.
they're like, are you 5? Like, no.
I
But-
love.
I love the chocolate glaze and then the vanilla glaze. The two most like OG
Yeah.
basic
Vanilla
ones.
glaze.
No,
yeah.
old fashioned plain has no glaze.
No, I don't want.
That's too
That's
boring.
my
That's too
favorite.
boring
I like the
for me.
glaze. I mean, I don't love donuts and pastries,
Yeah.
but I love
donuts.
Timbits. I just
Every
think
now
they're
and
the
again.
perfect size.
They are.
Sometimes you just get
but
a
then
craving.
I get like 3 or 5, and I'm like, okay, I could have just had.
Did
a
you
donut.
say? Did you say sour cream chocolate chip?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what.
And birthday cake
But
waffle,
I think
you
that would be.
nailed
I love the
these.
sour cream ones. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think
that would be delicious.
Honestly, they all
Chocolate
sound
white
good to
fudge.
me.
Justin,
Chocolate
we
white
love
fudge
you.
is a little, but yeah,
No.
they sound good.
You know what? November 29th, I'm trying all these bad boys.
Let's do a taste test.
I think we should. I'm putting it in the calendar.
Do it.
November
You guys should like
29th.
channel me
Beefs,
in, like
taste-
bring me
yeah,
in.
Yeah, yeah,
Zoom,
You
I'll
want to
be
come
there.
in?
Yes.
Let's do
We
it.
could do an Instagram live.
Let's. Yes.
All right,
let's
it's
do
booked.
that.
It's booked.
It's
Done.
November
done.
29th. We'll put it in the calendar.
I can't wait to see the metrics around, like if they release how many more Timbits, Tim Biebs that they sold based on this like campaign. People are going to be coming
I
up from like,
I don't know if you guys
the
saw
US.
my Instagram story, but I was like, I thought like Tim Biebs was such a horrible
saw
name.
that.
And I
You-
was like,
you had
what
a
about
better-
like
I saw
just
yours.
Tim Biebs?
I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
that. I was
Justin
wondering
Bieber.
where that
Justin
was.
Biebs.
the
like,
market error comes
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't like Tim Biebs until right now, and I'm like,
But I think it's
I can
stupid, and
nail
that's like the point. He's like, we'll call
Yeah.
it Tim Biebs.
Yeah, it's just
like
goofy.
okay.
no, I
I
like.
feel like he just doesn't care. He's just like, let's just
Pay
call
me.
it this.
He's-
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. He's making Timbits. There's no way they have not paid an insane amount of money for that.
And
Yeah.
he's probably proud, Canadian. You know.
He loves Tim's. He loves Tim Hortons.
Do you feel like he loves Tim?
I think he does.
No,
he
people
he,
do.
he
We
like
just don't.
hypes it up a lot. Like
Does he?
he says he like grew up always getting Tim Hortons as a kid, like playing hockey and stuff. And so
Hmm.
like every time him and Haley are in Canada, they hype Tim's up.
It's nostalgia.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
It is comfort food for me.
It is.
a bagel.
I used to when I was 16 get a double because I felt like I wanted to drink coffee.
Or French vanilla cappuccino. I used to
Oh, yeah, or
love-
that.
I don't know how my parents, they didn't know obviously at the time, like what was it?
Yeah.
I would go to math club on Saturday mornings.
This is why you're so good at math.
After a wild night out on a Friday, like actually. And so I would have to get a coffee and a chocolate chip muffin.
Oh, those are, I don't think they're
Because
as
I'd
good
be
as
like
they used to
hungover.
be.
Anyways.
They used to be good.
Yeah, and they'd
them
have
in
like
store.
the sugar crystals on top.
Like sprinkles that were,
Do they
Damn.
not bake them in store anymore?
I think they're all like, I don't know. I just don't think they're the
Did
same.
you say no? Tim Hortons does not bake their stuff in store?
Tim Hortons is owned by a Brazilian capital firm called UG Capital.
Oh my
Our
god.
hearts are broken.
Apparently they're
Childhood
owned by a Brazilian
ruined.
firm.
They're really
Yeah.
everything's cheap, but I feel
Nothing
like
is made.
kind of made a bit of a turnaround.
We might have to get someone from Tim Hortons on the pod.
We need to fact check, and they should just sponsor this episode.
I
too.
love this.
That'd be
We'll
great.
reach out.
Great.
We're trying to get Dairy Queen to sponsor us.
Oh really?
We love lizards.
We love Dairy
I'm
Queen.
but much like you're allergic to gluten and want to try the Timbits, I'm allergic to ice cream.
I'm also allergic to ice cream, so
we-
yeah.
But I eat
it's a
blizzards
struggle.
I know.
and I
Sometimes
handle
the
it.
pleasure's worth the pain. Like you just
I
gotta do
agree.
it.
My
Yeah.
lips swell up. It's really funny.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
No, it's fine. It's funny.
It's fine. Totally fine.
All right, Jodi, where can people find you online? We've gone so far off track. I don't even care. I'm having so much fun with you.
Online, I mean Instagram at jodi.guthro, Facebook, all the usuals. I'm on Spotify. And yeah.
We will link.
Keep your ears out. I might be releasing some new stuff soon.
Oh,
We will link all of it, and then of course we will be sharing whatever Jodi releases.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. Had such a fun time.